You're listening to the Old School Voters Podcast, the show where we cut through the noise and talk about what really matters to Providence. On today's show, we're taking a hard look at the shooting at Brown University. Everyone is talking about it, but are they asking the right questions? We're going to shine a light on the details that are slipping through the cracks and the areas that seem to be going unnoticed by the powers that be. Bottom line, this city needs transparency. We need to know exactly what happened that day. No filters, no spin. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back after the show's music intro.
In the heart of Providence, where dreams take flight, voices rise, a chorus of the night. We gather around with hearts full of hope to build a future where we all can cope. Let's listen deep to each other's plea, finding common ground. We'll never be free without understanding. Our voices fade. Together we can change what we've been made. Show the talk in the right direction. Guide the path with kindness and clarity. With every word, let's speak a better nation. Let's build bridges, not just walls of division. Through the streets and alleys, let's walk in peace. Hand in hand, we'll make a difference. Believe from the city hall to every home. Our voice is strong, we'll turn the tide. In the morning light, let's start anew. With open minds, let's break through. No more hate, no more fear. Together we're stronger, clearer. Let's hear the whispers of the wise, guiding us towards the skies. With every vote, set the pace for a world where everyone can embrace. Show the talk in the right direction.
Hello, my name's Mike English, and I'm over here on Patterson Street, about 24 minutes away from Brown University, where the shooting happened at that campus. We're on the east side of Providence, and again, it's 24 minutes. Used to call this Patterson Park. I believe they changed the name. But behind me also is a pathway. It basically leads to about, I don't know, a couple miles of woods. Assailant had shot the individuals. 911 was almost called immediately. And it took about 10 to 15 minutes for the police to respond. Once the police responded, the assailant could have been halfway to this area. He went to Brown University. He knows the area. And if he were to have gone this far in 24 minutes, he had a place to hide. There was no air support to actually see the surrounding areas. Now, if he stayed here for the night, which very possible, there are a lot of woods that he could have camped in. The temperature's about the same, and I could camp in this weather. I've camped in colder. And therefore, where was the Providence police looking within the woods of the east side? It goes all the way from Nesbitt Street, which is the Henderson Bridge. Some people get it mixed up with the Red Bridge. But it goes from the Henderson Bridge all the way to Pawtucket. Right behind Swan Point Cemetery, there's another cemetery. And then it goes into, I think, a middle school. And right about the middle school, it stops. For all that time, he could have walked all through the woods to get to a car in a different location. He could have stayed in the woods until the next day, which allowed him to get away a lot freer. You didn't know what he looked like. You didn't know what he was driving. You didn't know how he was traveling. He walked away from the school, and no one thought about looking beyond the school area. We need to have a plan. We need to understand what the East Side is. We need Rhode Islanders to be in the discussion, as the mayor is from another state, and so is Gonzalez. Now, you could say, well, maybe they'll elect Alan Waters. Well, he's the most discriminative person because it doesn't sound like he likes white people, and it doesn't sound like he likes gay people or any other people in between. If you're not like him, then you're not with him. I'm not that guy. I don't care what you are, what you call yourself, define yourself, or anything else. If I get elected mayor, I'm the mayor of the people of Providence, Rhode Island, and I'm here to keep Providence safe, its citizens safe, and its visitors safe. And for most definitely the students of Rhode Island safe. We need to really think about who the next mayor is. It's not just about party lines. It's about the knowledge of the city, the understanding of division between the police and City Hall. Police should not be dictated by City Hall like it is, by the City Hall and the City Council. That creates possible corruption. Because if you're following every word I say, that means you can't think independently. And that means you can't arrest me. And that is not right. I'm not only saying to separate us, but I am going to refuse a police detail. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to have a driver. It's just going to be one of my aides driving, possibly, so I could do work. However, I will not have a police detail. The police need to be separated from City Hall in case of corruption within City Hall. It should be able to do its job. Nor I nor the City Council should ever get in the way of police business, whether it's federal, state, or city. If it's happening in our city, we need to step back and let them do their job. Now, that doesn't say that I shouldn't have any input in the situation or talk when there is a school shooting or any other disaster. But remember, when it comes to the actual policing, I got to follow the chief's plan. Right now, I don't have any trust in the chief. I would have to replace the chief with a new police chief. I actually have one in mind that's been around since I've been a kid, and I think he was up for being chief before. I believe he'd be a great choice. I believe he follows the line of the law, and I believe he'd be a great fit for Providence, Rhode Island. Now, we also need to understand that plans without practice is nothing. So we would need to have run-throughs. We also need to understand that if a shooter happens again, Brown is not the leading person. Now, they changed the whole Brown University security chief and the vice president of safety. We didn't do anything in Providence. Mayor Smiley ran the show, and the chief of Providence Police was right behind him the day after the effects. And therefore, we need to really check and balance and say, well, if Brown saw a lot of issues that had its holes in it, why isn't Providence doing the same type of review? Now, Brown University, with all its wrongs, did give a school shooting alert. 22 minutes later, I believe it was 22 minutes later, Providence didn't do anything. They knew Brown University gave the alert. So Providence said we didn't give an alert because we didn't want to hurt anybody at Brown. But they knew Brown University was already given an alert and the suspect wasn't there. So the suspect is walking behind your house, in front of your house, in your stores, in your parks, and you have no clue because Providence refused to give an alert, an active shooter on the loose. That's called incompetence. They're giving a lot of BS to all its citizens, and we got people that work in the Providence Journal and other leaders that applaud him and applaud the chief and say this was fantastic. This was a fuck up. Straight out, totally unnecessary. We had 50 cops at the scene. Why didn't we call all 400 and something cops back to work? 30 to patrol the whole city and the rest to focus on the school's shooter? We need to understand Providence has a responsibility greater than most cities because of not only our dense population, but our Ivy League schools, one to be Catholic. We have a large Jewish population. It says 1 to 2%. However, most Jewish families at this moment don't fill out the censorship of religion. because they're afraid, and rightfully so. We have a Palestine flag that a mayor allowed on the top of the city hall. The city council ordered it. They put fear in our Jewish community. That's not a mayor, and that's not a city council. That's not leadership. That's tyrants. We need leaders that can stand up and say no. Leaders that will stop things in progress, reverse things, or stop it before it even is thought of. We need leaders so other people that would manipulate or use a situation think twice before they even think about it because they saw past responses. Yes, I am a Democrat. I believe in humanity. I believe in living life freely. I believe in safety. I believe in leadership. And I believe in a community. Right now, we have a lot of questions and very little answers. We need Providence Police to be evaluated on the response to Brown University. We need what influence did City Hall do to either hinder or redirect their policing. We also need a full evaluation of the City Hall and their response to the school shooting and what the communication was between Brown University and the mayor's office, Brown University in 911, and Brown University to the police department. We need total transparency completely across the board. Politics aside, it's not a Democrat, it's not Republican, it's not anything but 11 things. 2 students are dead, 9 students shot and wounded. That's 11 issues that we need to look at and we need to respond to. And how many more with mental illness now due to the shooting? Imagine you're a student, first year. Maybe you're pre-student. Maybe you're just visiting the campus. Remember, it's a Saturday, everybody's telling me. I know what day it was. But the reality is anybody could have been on that campus. And if it's a young child, you have to question yourself, what damage did it happen in their brain once they found out what evil really looks like? They felt the fear. They felt the students fall. They felt the students die, and they felt their pain. They thought they were next, and we did nothing fast enough to respond to where we could have stopped them from killing an MIT professor. Providence needs a lot of questions answered, and Providence leadership needs to be accountable, good, bad, or indifferent. If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. But right now, they came out for a victory lap the day after on a game and then hid. Doesn't tell me that they feel like they did a victory lap on something that they did good, but a victory lap to get reelected. Then they hid. We need accountability. We need a mayor that actually can answer for his direction, good, bad, or indifferent. I might not get it all right, but I will make sure my voters hear about it. I will make sure the city hears about it. I'll even make sure the visitors hear about it. I'm not there to be a king. I'm there to be a mayor of Providence under the Democratic Party to protect and serve the city, to bring businesses in, to make people feel safe, and not because they think so, but because they are. Providence, if you elect me mayor, will have a much different direction for the city. My name is Mike English, and I thank you for listening to my thoughts on the school shooter today. Devastating effects that the school shooter had, I get. People didn't like my responses fast on Facebook. But the reality is, when you see it wrong and people are dying, when do you say something? The day after? A week after? A month after? Why not the second that you see it? Maybe someone sees it and says, oh yeah, I didn't realize I could get helicopters from the National Guard. Or I didn't even realize there were woods down the street from the school shooter. I didn't realize that there were vacant buildings. My response on Facebook was secondary because I didn't have a telephone to call the mayor's office. And even if I did, it would be unresponsive because he showed who ruled. Nobody. We need a leader that will take a stance, good, bad, or indifferent, and then explain why he took it. If you can't have that, you don't have a mayor. You have nothing. You can't feel safe. You got to be safe. The Providence police are trained to protect. Why aren't we letting them? If you elect me, I will appoint a police chief that is a police chief for the police department to protect the city's people within it. I will make sure that they understand the law and they understand the separation of the city to the police department. And even if I come in and give my recommendations, that they have to still do their protocol unless we're on the second to second like a school shooter. Then we need to sit there and fight it out between the two of us to make sure that we understand whatever we're going to do, we're going to do it right. I need a police chief that can create a debate with me and not fall cards to my side, but to make a debate to where facts and realities are on the table and one of us will fold for the people of Providence. That's called leadership. Whether it's the city hall or the police chief that realizes that they made some errors and that the other person's right, that's leadership. You don't have to be right to give great leadership. You have to be able to direct your city in the right direction, whether it's your choice or someone else's. That's leadership. Providence deserves better. And I hope someone investigates the full story of the school shooter at Brown University, not just the school's activities, but the city, the police department, and 911 dispatch. Thank you. My name's Mike English, and thanks for tuning in to the Old School Voters podcast. Till next time.